Do your live videos suck? Well, it's a common problem. And today we're going to be talking with Chris Michaels, who's an author, an entrepreneur, and a communications pro with Wowza Media Systems. Plus, we have a very, very special guest joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. It's the Business of Video podcast.
You're listening to the Business of Video podcast, where the world's top YouTubers and marketers talk about what's working with online video. This podcast is recorded live on Facebook every week, and you can join us when you visit businessofvideopodcast.com. Now your host, Owen Video.
Welcome back to the Business of Video podcast, broadcasting live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. PST. This is the show, folks, where you're going to get the latest tips, tricks, and tactics for growing your brand with online video. I'm Owen Video, here joined as always by my good friend Nick Nimmin, and you can give me 5. That's right. Type 5 in the comment section now. You'll subscribe to the show if you're watching on Facebook. Our chatbot will pick up. We'll send you alerts every week before we go live. Our guest today is Chris Michaels. Dude's incredible. Really, really dig this cat. And he currently serves as the streaming industry evangelist and director of communications at Wowza Media Systems. Wowza will blow your mind. A lot of you folks, you're using Wowza every day and you don't even know about it. He's also the company's spokesperson, and he's got a lot of great stuff to go into today. But first, I want to say hello to my live streaming counterpart, the man who makes me more than a man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nick Nimmin.
What is going on, Owen? How are you today, my friend?
I got 2 words for you. Nick of time. Wow, I shouldn't have used that. That was the wrong order. But Nick of time. You were having some tech problems for the show.
Yes, I was. And that's the thing. For everybody watching this right now, the whole Business of Video thing, right? It's like everybody has tech problems. Like I came in here, I had like a browser muted, and for whatever reason, it wouldn't let me unmute it. So I had to like restart all that stuff. It still wouldn't unmute, and then now finally got it unmuted by some little icon that I happened to notice up in the little address bar right there. But it's all good right now and ready to rock and roll. Double thumbs.
Double thumbs is huge, and I think if there's ever been a show for double thumbs, it's gonna be this show because we have got a very special guest that's going to come on for the news. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way, well, let's start the news. I want to tell you guys something. I was lucky enough to get on the phone with a gentleman who agreed to come on the show today. All the way from the F8 conference, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Zuckerberg is here. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Mark Zuckerberg. Oh my gosh, Mark, what an honor to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Owen, for having me, and thank you, Nick. I really appreciate it. I'm broadcasting here live at the F8. Someone told me it was a 2-day convention. No one showed up yet today, but we had a lot of fun yesterday. It gives me a little free time to say hello.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, folks, if you're watching us on Facebook right now, share this video on your timeline. Let everybody know that they can ask Mark Zuckerberg questions right now. Mark, you're at the F8 conference, and I got to say, it's an awkward, unusual name for a conference. How did you come up with that name?
Well, as you do, you have people, I have people. My first idea was going to be Facebook University. And no one seemed to like that, so they said, hey, pick something else. So I decided to pick, my favorite keyboard stroke, and that's the F8 button. I just really love it.
That's the F8. Yeah. Facebook University has sort of an interesting ring to it. I'm not sure if it would work as well, but tell us a little bit about what's been going on at the F8 conference.
Well, if you guys are watching it, there's all kinds of new features. Instagram now has 4, people live at the same time. Be Live better step up the game there. But, it's a lot of stuff. We released the Octopus Pro yesterday, the Octopus Pro. And everyone, yeah, absolutely. It's this new headgear. It's in the shape of an octopus. It starts at $199, shipping yesterday. And everyone in the audience that is watching right now live, look under your seats because, yes, you have a free one.
No, Mark, I don't have. Do you guys have anything under your? I don't have anything under my seat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and due to the new privacy policy that Facebook has done, we don't know where you live anymore.
That's too bad. It would have been fantastic to have that. Yeah. Well, what else? What else is going on at the F8 conference? I'd love to I'd love to know what else are you working on at the F8 conference.
Well, we started a new iShower. It's an app that you put in your program on your phone, and people can we just want to bring the world together. So, everyone shower together. Why not? That's what we're going for. We want community.
That's so you have the iShower. Are there any cool features that come with the iShower?
No, not really. It's just the Octopus Pro is waterproof. That's why we use the Octopus. You put that on, it's like you're in the shower with whoever you want to be with. You can put music, you name it. We're going to go live soon with the it's going to be great.
That sounds, I mean, especially with privacy settings, it seems kind of like opposite of what you've been going.
Right. Well, we're going ultra private this year. That's what the F8's all about. Due to, I've been dealing with congressmen. They're all happily married, minus the happily part, and they all just want dating. So, I've been making dating apps. I've been personally trying them myself. I'm happily married, but it's ultra private. I've gone on 4 dates. Oops. No, sorry. But yeah, it's a good stuff.
So this new dating service, you invented that for the senators?
Right, the senators, myself, just random friends.
Well, you're certainly working on bringing the world together, and that's always exciting. Anything else that you want to tell us? I know that. Do we bring Nick? We got Nick back in. So great to have you back. Nick, do you have any questions for Mark before he says goodbye?
I do with the octopus thing in the showers, because you're saying that you wanted to bring people together for everybody to shower together, which I support 100%. But you were just talking about the privacy thing, and I know that some people are probably going to have you might end up in front of Congress or something talking about hey, people don't want people in the shower with them and all that stuff. How do you plan to handle something like that?
Well,
it's ambitious. Don't get me wrong, it's ambitious, but I'm just curious to know how you're going to handle that.
I appreciate it. We have a lot of money, that we don't even know what to do with. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually send letters to people's homes, and they can autograph them, not electronically, but legitly. We've learned that that's worked in the past with other big companies.
Okay. So that's going to be like a disclosure to where it's like, yes, I give other people on Facebook permission to come into the shower with me.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic, Mark. And did you have anything like in the future, any long-term stuff that you want to let our viewers in on? Things that maybe you shouldn't let out of the bag yet, but you might want to. Do you have anything like that?
It is the business podcast. Yeah, this is
right.
The for it. Yeah.
Well, we are working on a toddler program for kids. I know there's a whole anti-kid thing, 16 and under, and they want these waivers, all these congressmen people just yelling at me. But we're going to make something that's called iPotty. It's going to be for kids 4 and under, and they can all just help each other potty. It should be just a really good time. There'll be a screen there, and they can just kind of aim. It's a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
I hope that's not a touch screen. Mark, quick question. Yesterday you've got about 9 million people that follow you on Facebook, but right. only about 56,000 were actually watching.
Actually, Owen, it's in the 100 millions. Last time I checked, I don't check much. I checked this morning, but yeah. So 56K was pretty big for me. We blasted it. We made sure everyone saw it. It was, we didn't have to pay for it because I own the company. But yeah, 56,000. It was a Tuesday, Owen. Tuesdays. You don't broadcast on Tuesdays. But my people wanted it, so that's what we did.
Really? There was no joke in there? There was no, because it was a pretty good setup. But
yeah, hey, I have too much money for jokes. And my writers took the day off. Obviously, I'm here at F8 by myself. Where's your crickets on? Put the crickets on, please, because that's how I feel.
Yeah, I thought maybe you got reported for hate speech.
Well, that's touchy. Oh, and we're not going to talk about hate speech today because, yeah, I did lose a few, but I've got a secret hate speech group that I have. If you guys would like to join, I'll give it to you later. Just
yeah, if you can send us links, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Would love that. Now, Mark, we got to let you go. I know you're busy. Thanks so much for joining.
No, Owen, I'm not. No one's coming.
was there anything else? Anything else you wanted to share with us before you go?
Absolutely. If you guys aren't following me yet at Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, please do that. And here, come close. I'll tell you guys a secret of how I made my life, how I became successful. It's
Let's hear it. Facebook University for the win.
Thanks, Mark. So great to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, my goodness gracious. Really nice of him to come on the show. I mean, he really could be anywhere today.
That was extremely nice of him. And it's like, like you're saying, it's like, a guy like that, he's so busy. There's so much going on. And he just stopped just to come on here and share, some new features that they're working on over at Facebook with the kind folks here at the Business of Video podcast.
Yeah, Mark, you're just one heck of a guy. Thanks for coming on. And if you are watching us live on Facebook right now, share this video on your timeline. Let's get the word out together. And that is the news. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is brought to you today by the Video Marketing Toolkit. Do you want to launch your business on YouTube the right way? Get this jam-packed toolkit right now when you visit thevideospot.net/toolkit. You'll get over 15 pages with tips on background set design, my script templates, designing your background set. It's so good I mentioned it twice. How to look professional on camera, how to conduct a great interview. It's really jam-packed full of info. Go grab it right now at thevideospot.net/toolkit. That's thevideospot.net/toolkit. Well, that was fun. I'm having fun so far today.
Yeah, that was entertaining. Completely caught me off guard. By the way, I think that was fantastic. And some of the comments in there, they're so good that I'm actually going to have to go back and watch the replay on the start of this because that was hilarious.
Mark and I were talking backstage, and Jason Rodriguez logging in. He says, "Wow, I just missed Mark Zuckerberg." Yeah, totally. We're sorry that you missed us. Dell Wilson shared the podcast. Dell, thank you so much. Charlie Gordon is saying the iPoddy. I might have to check that out. I'd be careful. Make sure your privacy settings are good. Teresa's saying good dopamine rush. Well, thank you, my love. I appreciate that. Kathy Spazzy is saying she shared it. Thank you. Jane Stewart is saying, Mark, thanks for being so transparent. Dave Freund has some choice words for Mark Z there. Stephanie Lou is logging in, one of our favorite live streamers. Great to see you, Stephanie. Savvy BG, because this is hilarious. First, I thought that was Nick. No, that was Zuck. He came in on his own volition, actually begged me to come on the show. I was hoping we'd have enough space for him, and luckily we did. Anisha Collins, I can't hold back anymore. This is epic. Hey, expect nothing less on the Business of Video podcast. We're so glad you guys joined us today, and we're going to be talking about why your live streams suck. And to do that, we're going to be inviting a very special guest, a friend of mine on the show. Chris Michaels is an author, entrepreneur, and communications pro. He serves as the streaming industry evangelist and director of communications at Wowza Media Systems. This is a phenomenal company, folks. Chris has spent 20 years providing strategic marketing and communication counsels for many of the world's largest technology companies, including Intel, HP, Microsoft, SAP, and more than 100 startups. Chris, great to have you on the show. Where the heck are you? It looks fantastic over there.
Yeah, great environment there.
I love it because I got people walking around behind me in bathing suits. I'm actually in New Orleans, Louisiana, here for the Collision Conference. Got done listening to Al Gore speak yesterday and a great lineup of speakers that are going on today. But in the meantime, I get to hang out here in the hotel lobby or hotel the pool area and get a little
like a rap
on. I think it make it a great one, but I just have no flow, so don't even ask me to start spitting.
Collision conference. I think a lot of us love going to conferences. You obviously can't go to every single one. Tell us a little bit about what's happening at the Collision conference.
Well, so Collision is like a smaller U.S.-based version or a North American Web Summit. And Beckham, anything from seed stage to, they might have their A round, they might be in a growth phase. Companies coming, showing off what applications and products that they have. You also have people or in companies like AWS or Amazon and other people who are coming in and doing workshops with coders. And then you've also got the center stage. So people who are not only just experts in the field telling you what the trends are, talking about Bitcoin, talking about finance, talking about how to build specific types of applications, talking about the business problems that tech companies and startups are facing. And it's interesting because so many of the speakers on stage and so many of the applications that are coming out today are all focused on at least delivering video as a means to increase engagement and increase a brand value to your customer.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of different ways to go live. We're noticing that consumers and businesses, they want more than just the Facebook native app, right? They want more than just the YouTube native app and Periscope, and they're looking a lot more towards apps. Are you seeing anything happening with live stream applications?
We're seeing it every day. A lot of the applications that people who are tuned in today, whether it be Periscope, whether it be Lively, whether it be BeLive, a lot of these applications are built on some of our Wowza technologies, and we're constantly seeing other companies building applications and building live streaming into their apps. One of our customers, amazing customer, they're called Mercari. It's an e-commerce platform where you can sell used wares and create auctions, and they started rolling live video streaming to create live auctions. And so you can see somebody's pool table or whatever it is that they're selling and actually interact with the person who's selling it or see something being used. And they've seen I wish I knew the exponential number of increasing conversions for them, but it's just launched their throughput in sales for people who have actually started using the live streaming application. So we see a lot of people who might not have, their apps may not be solely focused on live streaming, but they're adding live streaming components to it in order to, like I said earlier, increase engagement, increase the amount of time that people are using the apps, and awareness as well, right? The more you're using it, the more you're evangelizing, the more that people are engaged with your product, the more likely they're going to tell a friend or a colleague or somebody else. So it's that word of mouth because video is so cool. We've got to be driving.
Now, are any of those apps helping to bring non-video people into the video space?
Absolutely. I mean, you have doctors, right? Doctors are a group of people that HIPAA laws are really tough. You have to have something that complies with disclosure. I mean, many of the problems that Facebook is seeing today with privacy rights are the same thing doctors have with even just sharing your medical file. So now we've got people who are making applications like G9MD so that doctors can create training environments, in the middle of a surgical ward, instead of having a gallery up above that might drop a junior mint in during an open heart surgery, they can now tune in a secure way in a encrypted environment around the world and still see the state-of-the-art training and surgeries that are happening around the world. So there's a lot of people who are looking at video as being a way to solve business problems that are outside of a traditional marketing sense, but it becomes such more of a marketing tool because now they can say, hey, we've got this video component that allows us to engage, that allows us to talk directly to our audience, that increases authenticity, and makes it much more valuable for our end customer.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Hey, if you guys believe that video helps you be more authentic, drop us a hashtag live, hashtag LIVE in the comment section right now. Show some love for Chris Michaels, who's taken time out of being in beautiful New Orleans to come be on the show with us today. Very interesting what you had to say about doctors, because I know for me, right, I'm a cancer survivor, a cancer crusher, right? We didn't just beat cancer, we destroyed it. But I had to go in to see my doctor for every little fever, every little thing. And it seems like it would have been just a little bit more convenient to kind of like video with them. But because of these laws and whatnot, it's real hard to do that. Chris, how are you seeing the industry change in order to make it happen?
Well, there's a lot of discussion on whether blockchain is one way that people can create a secure, authentic, channel in order to talk with one another. We're also seeing a lot of people looking at, the DRM capabilities or digital rights management. So, and encryption. And there's a lot of, to get into the high tech sort of things, there's a lot of protocols that are developed today around secure, reliable transport and fully encrypted end-to-end streaming so that your applications, nobody can hack in, nobody can get that information, nobody can listen in on the conversation. So now you've got that one-to-one exchange. There's other things like financial transactions, right? You've got the SEC and you've got financial laws and you've got international financial laws and you've got now GDPR with privacy in Europe. Yeah. These are all things that, just about every industry is going to have some sort of reason to have encrypted communications. And that's why I think a lot of people are actually, whether it be chat application, because it's one-to-one, right? I have no risk of anybody else getting it away, or one-to-many where I'm talking to maybe a panel of doctors, or I'm talking to a couple of financial analysts. Or a financial analyst who's talking to their customers about how we're making moves in the individual portfolios because something's happening in the Asian markets, right? Awesome. And there's all sorts of different ways where, if Edward Jones were to create an app like that, I'm sure their customers would feel much more satisfied in knowing the day-to-day handling of their portfolios, right? Because now that's the authentic exchange that we talked about. Kathy and Charles, and Jason Rodriguez, all saying live because it is authentic, right? This is a real exchange that's happening.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm loving blockchain. You just hit a buzzword for me. I am loving blockchain technology. And for those of you guys that don't know, blockchain is the algorithms, if you will, that are handling cryptocurrency and have made it the most powerful and secure currency in the world. But we're also seeing blockchain technology transferred over to video sites like DTube. You guys heard of DTube?
Yeah, let me tell you something about DTube. I spent like an hour and a half trying to get videos uploaded to DTube, and either my video kept kicking back errors or the thumbnail kept kicking back errors. Like, at this moment in time, I'm anti DTube. Like, I'll try it again eventually, but I was trying to put some old All Our Questions stuff up there, and man, whoo! It was such a they've got some fine tuning that they need to do in order to really get that puppy cruise. And I support the idea, and I think like what they're trying to do is fantastic. But it's just right now it's just they have some fine tuning that they need to do. In my personal,
it's all very cutting edge. You know who else is doing great? Experty.io.
Experty.io.
You heard of Experty.io?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Experty is a blockchain technology that is using, it's a platform, right? And you can do video conference calls with a coach, with a consultant, with anybody who has an Experty app, and you would pay them in real money using PayPal. Experty would pay you, the consultant, in Bitcoin or in another coin in cryptocurrency.
In their token, Yeah,
and their tokens, and then that we're seeing like huge explosion in video technology. Chris Michaels, who is the evangelist at Wowza Media Systems, joins us today. Chris, how is Wowza participating in this revolution of live stream and video technologies?
Well, we've always, since 2005, we've been, at the forefront of allowing people to build custom applications and build things on our platforms. Whether that's, Periscope that was built on us, whether that was Livestream and Vimeo that was built on us. Have you guys watched the Olympics this last year? If you did, you're welcome.
I didn't, but I'm guessing you're behind it.
Well, the Olympics, every SpaceX launch, mission control for NASA.
Oh wow!
I watch every SpaceX launch. My family at dinner time, we're planning our trip to Mars, and we don't know if it's going to be in the next 10 years or 20 years. But I am so big, I watch every SpaceX launch, and you're saying your people are behind that.
We are. So our technology runs behind every video that you watch at the launch, but also the mission control. You know, you need to have something that is super low latency when you're watching something launch from Cape Canaveral and your mission control is in Hawthorne, California, and you need to make sure that you can make changes and telemetry changes and video changes from watching something go up in the space, or else it'll blow up, right? We've seen enough blow-ups to know that you needed to make changes on the fly. And so a lot of that is driven by our Wowza streaming engine product. We also have a cloud-based solution for that's anybody can use, anybody can sign up. We have free trials available. But our cloud product really allows you to reach any audience anywhere around the world. So if you want to stream to Facebook and YouTube and Periscope and your own website and Twitch and everything at the same time, you can do that through Wowza Streaming Cloud.
Wow. Wait a minute. You're talking about like multicasting, simulcasting. You're saying with Wowza,
Yeah.
with Wowza. Now, is this using the Clearcaster box? Talk a little bit about that.
So we just launched back in September with Facebook. We launched the Clearcaster appliance, and it is a hardware encoder. You can put it on your or you set it on your desk. It's rack mounted, so you can create a rack mount. It can take so you can take either an SDI if you're using a pro camera, or an HDMI feed from any camera or production box. You might have a vMix box, you might have something running Wirecast, but you can run the HDMI out to it. And then you can produce your show and then turn it around and go live to Facebook Live. And we actually worked with them very, very closely as they rewrote the Live API. So we have a very tight integration with them. And what it does is it provides 1080p 60 quality to Facebook. It's the only way to get there today in 1080p 60. So if you're doing 4K video and you got a 4K camera, take your 4K feed straight into the box and go live. You can go live either through the Facebook Live interface or through the Clearcaster Manager, clearcaster.wowza.com, which logs you in remotely, and you can schedule, you can go live. And now we just at NAB announced you can also not just go to Facebook in the highest quality possible, but you can also go to our streaming cloud product and then redistribute from cloud wherever you need it to go. Yesterday at F8, we also had a really cool announcement that we are now working in integrating with live production services that you can do on the web, like VidPresso or BeLive, or anybody who's doing this web-based, browser-based encoding, browser-based production, where you're doing switching, you're doing graphics insertions, you're doing titling, you're doing video insertions, lower thirds, whatever you need. And you can do that live and integrate that into the Clearcaster feed. So now you've got professional TNT, Turner Broadcasting, CBS quality video production done in the confines of your garage without necessarily needing, a big production crew. Don't need to be easier for somebody to have a live show, have full production, professional quality without needing all the other accoutrement to go along with it.
Wow, accoutrement. Nice. I remember that at the dinner table. Hey, we're talking with Chris Michaels of Wowza Media Systems, and this is sort of an impromptu thing. We're going to give away another one of these mobile live stream lights here. This is a mobile live stream light. It's used to put on your mobile device, iPhone or Samsung, so you can broadcast in the dark. And we're going to give one of these away to anyone who shares this video on your timeline or puts hashtag Wowza in the comment section right now. The more you comment, the more likely you're going to win. We got a couple of questions.
To clarify, not to anyone who does, but to someone who does.
Just to someone. Yeah, someone's going to get it.
Yeah, someone. Yeah.
Lawyer watch. So share this video or type hashtag Wowza in the comment section right now to get the ring light. We'll send it to you through Facebook or Facebook Prime. Amazon Prime. We got a couple of great questions coming in from the audience. Nick, you want to grab those?
So, yeah, I do, and I have a question also. So, in terms of the multicasting, so multicasting through your platform, I need the box to do that, right? The Clearcaster box.
Yes. So you can multicast today and go to Wowza Streaming Cloud, and whatever production workflow you have right now, just send that as an RTMP ingest to Wowza Streaming Cloud. And then you can decide what we call as stream targets, where you want that to go. So you can set up as many stream targets as you want. And for us, it broadcasts and you pay at 5.5 cents a gigabyte, which is dirt cheap for rebroadcasting to all of your different audiences. If you're using the Clearcaster does connect to Wowza Streaming Cloud. So I did see there was one question about, is it Facebook only? Not anymore. It now supports, going to Facebook Live and going to Wowza Streaming Cloud. So you don't necessarily need a higher bandwidth. And going through the Clearcaster is different because you get the 1080p 60. Going through Wowza Streaming Cloud, you get the 720. So if 1080p 60 is something for like video game streamers, right? That's high frame rate is incredibly important, and high quality is incredibly important for video game streamers or anybody doing live sports. Those are like two big plays where you really need the high quality and high bit rate. But if you don't need that, you can go through cloud and you're able to get there in both ways. But one of the other cool things about the Clearcaster is also we're constantly talking to Facebook and understanding what your network conditions are and automatically changing the bit rates and things to maintain uptime. And so we have redundancy and failover built into it. So if you have two boxes, it'll fail over if one of them knocks out and has a lot of lag. If you lose connection completely, and connection restores, it automatically goes right back into the session. If somebody steps on the power plug, which we had happen live while we're at a major trade show, and you plug it back in and turn it back on, it will automatically reconnect. So you're going right back into that session. So those are a number of things that can happen. And if that happened and you had redundancy set up, it'll just fail over to the other box. So there's a number of different scenarios. I mean, if you're streaming something like we have one customer who streamed President Obama's farewell speech, right? And they did that live on Facebook and YouTube. And that's the kind of thing, you can't have a failure when you're streaming the president, right? And so this at least gives people that ability to know that they can feel secure in their streaming solution. They can feel secure in being able to deliver high quality, the highest quality video possible to all of your destinations that you would want to go to. But more importantly, that you can trust that this box will make sure that you are constantly reaching your audience and engaging with them. We do have a live talent view too, so I can see all the comments as they're coming in and respond to the comments and say, and just like Nick James says, the simulcasting not go to Facebook Live against Facebook Live's policies. I can answer that right now in real time. And the answer is no. The way that we do it, it doesn't violate it because we're actually sending one stream to Facebook Live. We on the box actually parse it out so we can send a separate stream. So we're not violating their API usage because we're not using their API in that simulcast.
And it wouldn't be wise either to to violate their policies because they could shut you down and you don't want to get shut down. So, so is that something that you I feel like you've already answered the question, but you need the Wowza box, right, to do that, or can you go right to Wowza Cloud?
You can go right to Wowza Cloud. I could do that from my laptop here.
It's kind of like a Switchboard Live or one of these other companies where you stream there, and then from there the stream is parsed out into multiple different places.
Yeah, so Wowza Streaming Cloud allows you. Our product is built around transcoding, right? And so you can take any feed in, transcode it, transrate it, transmux it, which means deliver the adaptive bitrate streaming for mobile playback or your laptop or the right bit rate and the right frame rate to the right audience anywhere around the world. We also have our own CDN built on Akamai, so you don't have to buy a big Akamai commit if you're needing a CDN delivery, and you can just piggyback off of ours, which makes it super affordable for people as an option. But really, it's about, you want to reach every audience around the world. You might be building an application too, and there's APIs within Wowza Streaming Cloud and Wowza Streaming Engine. That API, if you're building an app, make a call to an external service without having to become yourself if you're a developer. And then you're just piggybacking off of our knowledge, our managing of it, and delivering that to the audiences and the devices and the applications and the players anywhere around the world to maximize your audience.
Wow. Nice. So Charles Wagner has a question. He wants to know if streaming on multiple platforms requires a higher bit rate, or how does that work? Does basically the stream just go directly from the computer, directly from the box, and then it goes to your platform, and then basically you duplicate it, or like how does that process work?
So the one I have at home and I have one of these sitting in my regular house, and I've got a regular 100 megabit per second down, 10 megabit per second up line. Actually, I think they just upped it for me. I love my cable provider. But they're like, he's doing a lot of stuff.
I called it. Look, with net neutrality, we're all going to pay more, but we're going to get more. And that's exactly what happened to me. Anyway, rant over. Please continue, Chris Michael.
Well, they recognize I was doing a lot of, you're doing a lot of video stuff, both from watching, Netflix and everything I'm pushing up. Like, we're going to give them a free bump. But for me, I've got it running in an at-home hardline network. Right, so I'm plugging directly into my router for the Clearcaster. It doesn't require additional bandwidth to go to Facebook. It will increase it slightly when I split the stream and go to two different destinations. I don't have the stats on by how much it does it, but what we're doing is we're sending the highest quality possible to Facebook or to Wowza Streaming Cloud. From there, you're using our bandwidth, our computing power. You're not having to worry about overclocking your CPU locally. You're not having to overrun any of your production systems. Just that we spend two streams. That's that simple. And the one that's going to Wowza Streaming Cloud, we use all the computing power. We use GPU acceleration. We do what we can to provide the highest quality stream out to whatever destination you want. So all that's done on our side, not necessarily on your side.
Valerie Fain is saying, this is a bit over my head, but I'm friends with many women who do live video, who have a huge following, so I'm sharing with them. She brings up a good point. For those of you guys that aren't necessarily into the tech side, I would encourage you to sort of start going that way, because live video is no longer new, right? It was new 2 years ago, and now it's gonna be about upping the game. And if you're still doing mobile live streams for your business when everybody else is using an app or a third-party device to improve that, it's going to be kind of like watching a black and white TV. I think with Wowza, it's important to recognize that this is a way of making your live streams better. We've got Jason Franco, who's at contentmarketers.net, really professional streamer, asking some great questions. He asks, about the box. It has one SDI, which is an adapter, and one HDMI on it. He's confirming that. And can you switch live?
Yes, you can switch between your inputs. It will typically take one or the other, but you can choose which ingest you want. You can also output to two HDMI out. So I can see almost like a confidence monitor. I can see what I look like on screen. And I mentioned the talent view. So now my confidence monitor will shrink down as people start commenting, and I can see all the live reactions, all the comments, everything coming in one console for me. When you're simulcasting, you won't see all the comments from all the places that you're simulcasting to, because that's coming through the Wowza Streaming Cloud service. So you would probably need another monitor or service that can actually collect all those comments for you. But there are ways to do that, right? I mentioned, we're integrating, when we showcased yesterday with VidPresso. If I'm going to multiple places and I want to do live polling and insert that into the Facebook live stream, or insert that overlay, and I can see all the comments coming in from wherever my destinations are, it's going to pull that from the URLs. And so I can see all those comments in one consolidated place. So there are tools that are doing that for you. Yeah, and it's not just, about adding box and adding, to the point that somebody made earlier. It's not about, doing things that are over your head, right? There are so many tools that you have at your fingertips today, eCams, VidPresso, BeLive, that can help you get started with ease, right? And get your foot in the door. And then there's an amount of increasing the professionalism. I want to insert video. I want to insert two on-screen polls. I want to have a scrolling, news banner going across the bottom. Those are all sorts of tools that you can use and play with and find out what's best for the type of content that you're creating, right? If I'm doing something that's, like this show, we have news at the beginning, or we have multiple guests coming onto the show. You know, I definitely want to title them. I definitely want to give them their low third. I definitely want to use, you know, as you've used a couple of times, the video insertions or graphic insertions or browsers, right? You know, so now we can see what somebody else is doing. And so now you've just upped the game. And how do I deliver that in a way that has the highest video quality, and reaches my audience with confidence, you know, and that I can react and again increase that authenticity of the interaction.
That is incredible.
Nice.
Folks, we're wrapping down. We're winding down. If you want to win our ring light, you can get a ring light for your mobile device. Just type hashtag Wowza in the comment section right now. The more you type it in, the higher your chances are of winning. We're going to send you this ring light that fits on your mobile device. 3 different levels of lighting up. I use this all the time when I'm live streaming on the go. I got a selfish question for you, Chris Michaels, of Wowza Media Systems. I use vMix in my new studio that I'm building in the back of my house, and I'm just using an Alienware box, and then I've got the Wowza Clearcaster next to it. Can I use the lower thirds and some of the things in vMix and use those through Wowza?
Absolutely. In fact, if you go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/Wowza Media, our YouTube page has all the videos from NAB that were shot by our friends at LiveX. So Rob Baynard and Aubrey hosted. We had a full production studio in our booth there, and we had people coming in from all the different companies that were showing things. We had the guys from Cheddar TV there talking about their infrastructure, but they had a multi-camera. Yeah, they had a multi-camera setup that was all run by vMix, and then they sent everything out through the Clearcaster. So all of those streams went straight out to the Clearcaster using the vMix workflow. So they had 3 or 4 different camera views. They had, you know, full production audio that was coming from an audio mixer in. So now there's that full high quality 4K production workflow that they use there in their studio to really showcase the power of this simple streamlined box to deliver the highest quality possible.
That's
Nice.
unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Melissa, show some pictures of the Clearcaster box. You know, because I've got one. We've streamed with it a couple times as we've started to build out our studio. What I love about the Clearcaster box, and this is not a commercial for them, but I do love the product, is how easy it can be used. It's like a plug and go system, right? It's not terribly complicated. There's like 5 buttons on it, you know, and otherwise you're still using your vMix or your Wirecast, and you're pushing it to the box, which is then sending it out. So I love this box. As we wrap up here, Chris Michaels, how do people connect with the Clearcaster? We've got someone like Jason Franco out there who's watching, who loves this kind of stuff. And how do we connect with the box? Is this something that's commercially available? Is there a wait list? What's the deal?
Easiest thing to do, go to clearcaster.com. That redirects you straight to the Clearcaster product page. You can buy it right on the website as well. And I had somebody, I saw that there was one comment that came up that said it's a really high-end encoder. Yes, it's a high-end encoder, but it's also more of an engagement. You know, you've got an engagement layer, you've got the redundancy, you've got a lot of the built-in APIs from Facebook, like directly on the box, that make it that much more successful for you to stream to Facebook Live. And then, of course, now you've also got the multicast abilities. No other encoder on the market can multicast the same way to Wowza Streaming Cloud and Facebook the way that this one can in that high broadcast quality. So it's super affordable now. We dropped the price to about $3K, I believe, on the device. So, you know, somebody who's building that professional studio for their work, or somebody who's doing this as a service, like you're doing live streams as a service for somebody else, and you want to be able to deliver it, just go to clearcaster.com, check it out. You can ask for information. One other thing, we are coming out with a new UGC report that will be published in a couple of weeks that really talks about how companies are implementing user-generated content, or having their own studio, or having their own video technologies that they're building into applications like I mentioned, Mercari and some of the others earlier, or they want to leverage influencer marketing or some of the other types of video marketing tools at their disposal. That's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. You can always subscribe to our blog, and I will be doing a webinar, I believe, on June 6th about it. So you can sign up for that once we have the information up, and I'll be sure to share that as well.
Marcus Campbell is asking, does this replace capture cards?
It can.
Great
if
question.
You want to go straight through the box. If you want to go into a production studio and produce things, like you want to bring a 4K camera in and use vMix, right? You're going to probably still have your Blackmagic capture to Caster or whatever. One real benefit of going from using a computer for your editing system and then going to Clearcaster to deliver is vMix and Wirecast and some of the editing software is very CPU intensive. It burns up your computing power on your computer. So once you start streaming, it even clocks it even higher, and so you bog down the amount of processing power that you have at your disposal. By offloading that, you can do much better production graphics and production capabilities, and then offload the streaming to the box and let the box handle the stream.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got a comment coming in from Dean Linnell, great guy producing awesome video. He's got a nice little show on YouTube, is saying, you know, that there's a price tag on that, but, and he's right, it's not a cheap device. I mean, this is a professional device, you know. And then Jason at contentmarketers.net is saying, trust me, that's a great price. I agree. As a guy who, like Nick, I've built studios, you can buy a whole bunch of cheap gear that will still add up to the same $3,000 price tag, but you won't get the quality, you won't get the longevity from it, and the slim trim line design. I mean, this box fit right into my rack. It fits right above my computer. It's only, what, like 1.25 inches thick?
Yeah, it's a pizza box, right? And it's not even a full depth pizza box. It's a half box. It's a half rack.
And it's, you know, normally I'm not into half racks. I like a full, big rack. It all depends in the eye of the beholder. So, I mean, if you're building out a studio that you're using to broadcast a show that's selling product or generating leads for you, in a lot of cases, it's going to be 1 or 2 leads, 1 or 2 sales is going to recoup the cost of that box. Plus, you're guaranteed redundancy, right? You're guaranteed the stream will not fail on you. Guys, Blackmagic I normally love. I don't want to talk smack on them, but I have 2 dead Blackmagic capture cards up here. They just didn't last very long, you know, and we burned them out. So there's a lot of value to having you know, a system like that. We had another question come in. Carlos Phoenix is saying, I sell the Wowza on his website. That's awesome, Carlos. Always great to have you on the show. Dan Norton is saying, if Owen was a pro wrestler, he'd be Owen the Wowza Video. I think that's not a bad name.
That's awesome.
So Jason is asking, at some locations, I have to get the computer a password to type into the location's network. Can I still do that with the box? I think so, right?
So if in some instances, if you're taking the box on a location and they have network access, you can always provide the MAC address for the device to the network administrator, and that will automatically whitelist the connection if you don't have to log in. So it's just a matter of connect and just let your network admin, can you whitelist this MAC address, and they'll do it. We've also seen if you're piggybacking, so there's no Wi-Fi today on the box. It requires a hard line. But if I have been able to piggyback off of my and share my Ethernet or Wi-Fi connection through my MacBook Pro. I'm using a MacBook Pro over here. That's why I'm pointing at it. And I use the dongle. I put in. I say share my network, my Wi-Fi, and it connects through here. So long as I've got a high enough network connection on that Wi-Fi network, it's easy to also tether straight in. And so I can log in, to his point, I can log in, authenticate my laptop, and now I've got another device that's just sharing that authentication.
Nice.
It sounds like you guys have thought about everything. Chris, how do we stay in touch with you? How do we learn more about what Wowza is doing?
Well, anybody can email me. It's chris@wowza.com. That's the easiest email for me. You can always stay tuned to our news. We have a blog that we update daily of new articles, tips, and tricks, and talks about some of the things that are going on. So wowza.com/blog just takes you straight to our blog. And then, of course, we have our YouTube that's regularly updated, our Facebook channel that we're doing, sharing events like this, as well as doing our own Thursdays, going live with Wowza, regular series that we have in our webcasts. So you can find that at facebook.com/Wowza Media as well. So Wowza Media is our hashtag or our call sign. You can find it just about anywhere.
Wowza is hashtag, guys. Thank Chris Michaels for being here today. Like bomb him right now. Like bomb him. Just tap that like button. Give it up for Chris Michaels. Chris, thanks so much for coming on the show today and taking a break from NOLA to spend some time with us. Really great to have you here.
Thank you much. I'm going to go across the street to Emerald's restaurant and hit some bammed up food over there.
Get
Nice.
some crocodile for me. I haven't been to New Orleans.
Enjoy that.
Katrina. I was actually out there when I was about 23, 24. It's a great little town. I'm glad you're out there. Thank you guys for watching. We've got a ring light giveaway. Type Wowza into the comment section now. It's your last chance to win. This ring light has 3 different levels of connection or levels of brightness. You attach it right to your phone. We're going to send one right to your house. Type Wowza in the comment section now. Marcus Campbell is saying everyone loves a live show about dongles and racks. Right? It's like, come on. Now, actually, he beat me to it. All right, the Wowzers are coming in. Fun show today, right? We had Mark Zuckerberg on the show.
Yeah, had Mark Zuckerberg on the show to really get things started in the right way. We've had tons of hidden gems in terms of cross meanings and all that good stuff on here as well. Yeah, it's definitely been a jewel today.
Yeah, it's been a jewel of the show. I tell you, I got to check out that iPoddy app right away, as soon as I can. I've got my eye on that. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. All right, drum roll, please. We're picking a winner. Dan Norton is our Wowza winner today. Give it up, everybody, for Dan Norton. Dan Norton is the winner of the ring light device. Thank you, Dan, for sharing the show and using the hashtag Wowza in multiple comments. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dan. Dan, go ahead and reach out to me personally with your address. We'll send that ring light ASAP. Great show today, guys. Super excited about what's happening in live streaming. Great to have you on the show, Chris Michaels. Congratulations, Dan Norton. Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Chris.
You crush, as always. We will see you guys next Wednesday at 9 a.m. on the Business of Video podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Business of Video podcast. If you like the show, give us a review on iTunes or share this episode on social media now. Join us next time on Facebook Live. Just visit businessofvideopodcast.com and subscribe to the newsletter updates. This podcast is brought to you by Tuber Tools and BizTubeAcademy.com.